Alhamdulillah, being that it's still relatively near, I'm sure that most of us are still enjoying the fruits of a blessed and wonderful Ramadan. And so what I hope is, inshallah ta'ala, to have us focus on one aspect, and that is to do the best that we can to keep whatever blessings Allah has bestowed upon us within Ramadan going, to keep that momentum of Ramadan. There's one hadith that we want to focus on as pertaining to keeping this momentum. And it's the hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us, and he is the best of teachers. And I'll say that again. We should all be absolutely certain within ourselves that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the best of teachers. That there can be no teacher that is better than him, no person that is more knowledgeable than him, no person that can ever be safeguarded and protected to be ma'soom, infallible besides him. Therefore, he sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he is our ultimate role model, the one that we should strive to be like, because that's what made the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim great, was that they strove to be like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He taught al-Muslimu. He starts it off with a word which is the subject. The Muslim. The question is now, what's going to be the predicate? What is it that he, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, what is it that he's going to want to tell us about the Muslim? There's not a Muslim who hears that except that now they know that they're being addressed, right? Because even though the statement isn't, Ya ayyuhal muslimun, O Muslims, the subject is something that anyone and everyone who has declared, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, they know that they're being included within this subject. The question is now, what's going to be the predicate? What's going to be the khabar? What's that information that's going to complete this statement, this sentence? من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. The one whom other Muslims are safe from their tongue and from their hand. Let's focus on this just a little bit. The Muslim is the one whom other Muslims are spared from any type of verbal abuse or physical abuse. So let's put that as a clear definition. Who is a Muslim, or who is the Muslim? The Muslim is the one that other Muslims don't ever have to fear or worry about being harmed or abused by them. Ramadan just passed, and then Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we focused on our relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. We fasted 16, 17-hour-long days. We learned the strength of what Allah Azza wa Jal has bestowed upon us of self-restraint and how important self-discipline is. We refined our relationship with Allah Jalla wa Ala by also engaging within a multitude of different forms of worship, having the quality there and building on it with quantity. We're fasting by day, reading Quran by day, making salawat by night, listening to the Quran by night, remembering Allah Azza wa Jal by day and by night, giving of charity by day and by night, paying attention to ourselves, being more self-conscientious to make sure that we're not going to do anything to what? To jeopardize these acts of worship. Why? Because our ultimate goal is to make sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one whom we love, that He's pleased with us. And so husbands and wives are a bit more cautious that they're not going to say something that's going to, displease Allah Azza wa Jal. Parents with their children, siblings with each other, relatives, the jama'ah of the community. But once Ramadan is over, the shayateen are let loose. And those whispers, they come back. and the self-discipline and the self-restraint and control, it seems to weaken if we do not keep ourselves fortified by the lessons and blessings of what we should have attained in Ramadan. So what should we pay attention to? We should pay attention to this aspect of making sure that Ramadan is not a month long. Because even though the ibadah of Ramadan is that month, the lessons learned within Ramadan are meant to be carried for the rest of the year, rather for the rest of our lives. Earlier today, we had a delegation that came to our masjid at IANT from Iraq. And it consisted of Muslims that were of Sunni, of Shi'i, as well as non-Muslims of an Iraqi Christian, and also the ethnicities of Arab, Kurdish, and Ashuris or Assyrians of what the Masihi, the Christian person was. And they're touring the United States via the State Department for a purpose. To see how can they learn from the American experience. And unfortunately, as you know, when you hear and see what's happening over there with regards to that crazy extremist group that thinks that Allah created them to hurt and behead people. Allah guide them. And Allah guide us. And Allah protect the people and protect us. Wallahi, brothers, and whoever else it is that may be listening, sisters, etc. If we were to understand our religion and understand that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he must be our role model, it's not going to make a difference tomorrow who it is that's addressing us, how big or beautiful their beard may be, how elaborate or wonderful their dress may be, how many letters and symbols and dots of titles they may have before and after their names. The moment they tell us something that is going to contradict what we know to be from our beautiful religion, we know right then and there that that's a point we don't transgress. So we know that the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us, Al-Muslimu man salima al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. That the Muslim, do you want to add an adjective to that perhaps is understood but not stated? The true Muslim, the sincere Muslim, the complete Muslim, the real Muslim, go for it. But even if you keep it at its most elemental level, let's say just the regular plain old Muslim, forget about Shaykh al-Islam of Muslim, but just the average Joe of Muslims is the one who everyone else of Muslims is protected and saved from ever being verbally or physically attacked, abused, or harmed. But we should also take it to a different level and understand that not only is this true for Muslims, because we don't have double standards in Islam. It's not that, okay, you're supposed to be good to the Muslims, but when it comes to the non-Muslims, lie to them, cheat them, steal from them, hurt them, take advantage of them, do whatever you want with them. No. No, not at all. Rather, it was that consistency. It was that same standard that when the non-Muslims came to see the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim and the Tabi'un Rahmatullahi alayhim jami'an, that they said this here has to be the truth. Because the truth is in the application and execution of the teachings. Especially if and when they were accustomed to the exact opposite. Ramadan is just a month past. How many of us are still guarding our tongues when it comes to the people that we're talking with or talking to or talking about? How many of us, regardless of whether it's our spouses, our parents, our children, our siblings, community members, and understand, ahibba, that what you write is no different than what you say. So that text message, that email, it's one and the same. Are we still being as vigilant to think about it? into question, is this going to be something that's truly going to bring me closer to Allah Azza wa Jal? Should I say it? Should I press the send? Or should I review it just to be sure? And Allah forbid that it goes to anything more than that. But we have to understand it begins with the word, and this is why the Prophet ﷺ began with min lisani. It is words that incite, it is words and speech that lead to the next level and to the next step. How many a fight broke out because of something that was said? How many a person was killed because of the poetry that they've stated? Ramadan, even though it has passed, as Muslims, we must be sure to do the best that we can to hold on to the treasures that Allah Azza wa Jal gave us in the month of Ramadan. If at minimum, let it be this beautiful prophetic teaching to make sure that you don't harm anybody in what you say, in what you write, or in what you do. And I pray that Allah the Exalted truly bless us to be from those of His select servants that He loves, who live a life conscientious of Allah Azza wa Jal, so that this way they do not say or do anything that is going to harm or abuse anyone else. And I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the strength and the dexterity to do so day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, until ultimately the time comes that He claims our souls, and by Allah's will and blessings, that He is well pleased with us, and that He has the best of paradise waiting for us. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Actually, nothing to add to what the Shaykh said. Alhamdulillah, and may Allah reward him for giving this beautiful reminder in such a very difficult time that the Muslim Ummah is going through. But as he was speaking, something came to my mind I wanted to share with all of you, inshallah ta'ala. And this is, subhanAllah, doesn't happen very often, but it's very unique that happened for us here at the Valley Ranch Islamic Center. Imam Shpendim, he's actually, alhamdulillah, currently the Imam of IANT, Richardson, alhamdulillah, Rabbi Ameen. And it's an amazing thing that for the past 3 nights, basically, this is now, mashallah, the strike 3, basically. But in a positive way, inshallah, Azza wa Jal. 3 nights ago, we had Brother Hasib Noor, who's studying in Medina, graduating this year, inshallah, that came and gave us a Khatira. And last night we had Muhammad Mana, who's also studying in Medina, giving us a Khatira. And this night, alhamdulillah, one of my colleagues, 15 years ago, we were studying together in Medina, a graduate of Medina University, came also given the Khatira. So 3 nights in a row, mashallah, the breeze of Medina is benefiting this community. May Allah bless this community, may Allah reward the Shaykh and all of you, inshallah. Barakallah fikum, jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much.